The night my mother told me, if you can't be supportive, you don't need to be here. I was holding a tray of lemon bars I'd baked from scratch. I remember that detail because I'd zested the lemons myself, and my fingers still smelled citrusy when she pointed to the front door. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I just set the tray down on the counter like it belonged to someone else and walked out. Hi, I'm Matilda Seard. I'm 34, I live in Virginia, and up until 3 months ago, I thought I understood my place in my family. I thought I was the steady one, the capable one, the one who kept things from falling apart. Turns out, I was just the one who absorbed the fallout so everyone else could pretend nothing was broken. Before I take you into that kitchen, the lemon bars, the pointed finger, the way my dad stared at the tile instead of at me, do me a favor. Like this video, subscribe to Her Untold Revenge and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I always read them. It helps to know we're not alone in this stuff, okay? Let's rewind. It was a Sunday, early May. My parents' house still has that faint scent of lemon cleaner and old books, like time just settled into the walls and decided to stay. I'd come over to help my dad sort through some insurance paperwork. He hates paperwork, says it makes his chest tight. I've always been the good with form's daughter. You know the type. Jocelyn was already there when I arrived. Coral sweater, hair curled, legs tucked under her on the couch like she was posing for a catalog. My mom was sitting beside her, practically angled toward her, bodies tilted in sync. They were laughing about something I had missed. "Oh good, Tiff's here," my mom said. "Maybe she can explain the deductible situation. Not hello, not how are you, just utility." I set my purse down. "Hi to you too." Jocelyn glanced up, smile quick and sharp. "Hey, Matilda." She only calls me Matilda when she's irritated. The paperwork took an hour, I explained. Premiums, coverage tiers, out-of-pocket maximums. My dad nodded like I was translating ancient Greek. My mom kept interrupting to ask Jocelyn if she wanted more tea. At some point, Jocelyn sighed, dramatically, like she was in a rehearsal for something. "I just don't know what I'm going to do," she said, staring into her mug. "About what?" I wondered, her latest venture. This time it was a wellness subscription box. Hand-poured candles, affirmation cards, herbal teas sourced from women-owned collectives. It had lasted exactly 4 months. And by last, I mean hemorrhaged money. My parents had invested again. Quietly, like they always did. "How much are you short?" my dad asked gently. Jocelyn hesitated. "It's not about money." That's when I knew it was about money. I didn't plan to say anything. I swear I didn't. But I'd helped my dad with the credit card statements the week before, and I'd seen the transfers. 5,000 here, 2,000 there. Payments labeled consulting. Refunds that never came back. "Dad," I said carefully, "have you looked at the interest rate on the business card?" The air shifted. You could feel it, like the second before a thunderclap. Jocelyn's head snapped toward me. "Why would you bring that up right now? Because if the balance keeps rolling over, oh my God, Matilda," she cut in, voice already trembling. "Do you ever stop?" My mom put her arm around her instantly. Instantly, like muscle memory. "Stop what?" I asked, genuinely confused. "Making her feel small," my mom said. There it was, the script, the one I've been cast in since I was 12. I opened my mouth to defend myself, then closed it, then opened it again. "I'm not trying to make anyone feel small. I'm trying to make sure, Dad, doesn't you always think you're the smartest person in the room?" Jocelyn snapped. Tears welled up so fast it was almost impressive. "You talk like you're auditing my life." My heart started pounding. "I'm not auditing your life. I'm asking questions. You see?" she whispered to my mom. "This is what I mean. She does this every time I try something." My mom stood up then, slow, controlled, the way teachers stand when they're about to address a classroom. "If you can't be supportive," she said to me, "you don't need to be here." I laughed, not because it was funny, because it was absurd. I made lemon bars. Wrong thing to say. This isn't about dessert, Matilda. My dad shifted in his seat. He didn't look at me. He looked at the stack of insurance forms like they'd suddenly become fascinating. I waited, just for a second, for him to say something. Anything. He didn't. So I grabbed my purse. I left the lemon bars. And I walked out. The door didn't slam. It clicked shut behind me like a punctuation mark. I sat in my car for 5 full minutes. just breathing. My hands were shaking, and not in a dramatic way, in a quiet, what just happened way. Marcus was home when I got there. He took one look at my face and said, "What did they do?" Not what happened. What did they do? That's when it hit me. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a pattern. Marcus made tea. I told him everything. The sigh, the tears, the sentence. He listened the way he does in court-focused, still absorbing every word. "You know," he said finally, "you're the only one in that house who doesn't get to have feelings." Ouch. He wasn't wrong. 3 days passed. No call. No text. I didn't reach out either. I wanted to see what would happen if I stopped being the bridge. On day 4, my mom texted, "We need to clear the air before the neighborhood barbecue next weekend." I don't want tension. Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "I'm sorry." Tension. I stared at the word for a long time. I typed back, "I'm not coming to the barbecue." The dots appeared immediately, then disappeared, then appeared again. Don't be dramatic. I laughed out loud, alone in my kitchen. That's when I decided to do something I should have done years ago. I started writing things down, not in a dramatic manifesto way, just dates, incidents, patterns. The time I gave up my bedroom so Jocelyn could have more light for her art. The time my parents missed my graduate school award ceremony because Jocelyn's car broke down. The way every family story somehow edited me into the margins. It wasn't one big betrayal. It was 1,000 tiny erasures. A week later, Aunt Ruth called. "Your mother says you're distancing yourself from the family," she said carefully. I let out a slow breath. That's one way to phrase it. Ruth was quiet for a moment. "Matilda, I need you to hear something. Your grandmother did this too." My stomach dropped. "Did what?" "Picked one daughter to orbit around and one to lean on. She didn't have to explain which was which. You remind me of me at your age," she said softly. "Capable, quiet, carrying too much." I sat down at the kitchen table. "Why didn't anyone say anything?" "I did," she said. "Your mother didn't speak to me for 2 years." "Of course she didn't. The barbecue came and went. I stayed home. Marcus grilled steaks just for us. We ate on the patio, the air thick and warm, cicadas buzzing like static in the trees. It felt peaceful. 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. I'd taken the test at 6 a.m., heart racing. When the second line appeared, faint but undeniable, I burst into tears. Not fear, not panic, just this overwhelming sense of clarity. I sat on the bathroom floor and thought, this stops with me. We told my parents at a small dinner, Marcus, and I hosted. Neutral ground, lasagna, salad, no lemon bars this time. My mom cried. Of course she did. Jocelyn clapped her hands like it was a surprise party. "I'm going to be the best aunt," she said. I smiled, polite, measured. Halfway through dinner, my mom started talking about converting their guest room into a nursery. "So the baby can stay over whenever you need a break." I exchanged a glance with Marcus. "We're not planning sleepovers," I said gently. "Her." Smile faltered. "Oh, well, we'll see." After they left, I felt it again. That tightening, that assumption that my child would automatically fold into the same structure that had bent me for years. So I wrote an email, calm, clear, boundaries about visits, about decision-making, about financial independence, about not undermining us in front of our child. I hit send before I could overthink it. My dad called the next day. "I read your email," he said. His voice sounded older somehow. "You're right, 2 words. I hadn't expected them. I should have stepped in more," he added. My throat tightened. "Yeah, you should have." There was a long pause. "I don't want to miss this chapter," he said quietly. And for the first time, I believed him. My mom's response was shorter. A text. I'm adjusting, not apologizing, not arguing, just adjusting. It's been 3 months since the lemon bars. Jocelyn hasn't asked for money again, at least not that I know of. She's quieter around me. Not hostile, just uncertain. Maybe she's figuring out who she is without the spotlight. I don't know. That's her work to do. I'm 22 weeks now. The nursery walls are sage green. There's a rocking chair in the corner that Marcus assembled with way too much pride. Sometimes I stand in the doorway and imagine a little girl in that crib. I imagine telling her she doesn't have to earn her place, that she's not responsible for anyone else's emotions. That love isn't something you trade for silence. And I feel something shift, generational, subtle, real. The lemon bars? I made them again last weekend, just because I wanted to. I ate one warm, standing at the counter, zest still under my nails. And you know what? They tasted like mine. So tell me, if you were in that kitchen, tray in hand, would you have stayed and swallowed it? Or would you have walked out like I did? Option A, speak up. Option B, keep the peace. There's no easy answer. I get that. If this story hits somewhere deep, subscribe to her untold revenge. Share this with someone who's always been the strong one. Sometimes the strongest thing we can do is stop carrying what was never ours. I'll see you in the next one.